everybody, Flip and Danny here, founders of the Freedom Real Estate Group family of companies. And welcome to another episode of our podcast called
Freedom Through Passive Income.
That's right. And today's episode is called What is Freedom Day?
I like Freedom Day.
Well, I really like Freedom Day. And so to give a little backstory about this, it was a number of years ago that Danny had said, in 5 years, I'm going to make it so that you can retire. And well, then we got to work, and then we realized that all of a sudden no one was watching the clock. And then, so that's when we just said, you know what? She said, you know what? On your birthday next year, you're going to retire. Well, I immediately put on my phone, I'll put a picture of it here on the screen, a countdown clock. And so it's months, days, hours, minutes, seconds, whatever. It's the whole countdown to my birthday of next year. But we're not calling it a retirement. We're calling it a Freedom Day, and because it's not something where on my birthday I'm going to retire and then the next day I'm going to be on the couch all day. Although that sounds fun, but it won't be that. It's not like I'm just going to stop working. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep doing things, but it's because I want to, not because I have to. Not that I don't have to now. Apparently, I could retire now, but. So that's why we're calling this is a Freedom Day, and so we put a post on Facebook and we put a picture of it, and Amy had commented on it and saying, what does freedom mean to you? What does this mean to you? And well, I like one of the things she goes, we could probably retire right now, I bet. And I think she's onto something. But anyway, so that's what brought this up, and that's why we're doing this episode.
Yes. So freedom changes with time. Mm-hmm. We've talked about this for years. Mm-hmm. Like, when are we going to retire? What does it look like? What are we going to do to retire? How much money do we want to retire? Are we going to be able to survive in terms of years and longevity of life? Are we going to have enough money? Are we going to have to be stuck going back to work? How do we figure that out? How do we answer those questions? It's been a discussion, like, I'm sure everybody watching this has the exact same discussions, right?
Yep.
And it's very hard to answer those questions. So you continually change the definition of what you're going for, and once you reach that destination or get close, which is what happens with me, is as soon as we're close, I'm like, new goal. Toss out the old one, make a new one, and keep on going.
Yep.
So it's always going to change with time. Totally be okay with that. Don't overthink this. The goal is to just set something in stone, define what it means to you, and then go from there. So you have defined what it means to you, so I'm going to define what it means to me.
Okay.
My definition of freedom is still working, because I want to work. I love business. I love real estate so much that I want to keep on doing it all the time. But I don't want to feel obligated to do it. So we have said we have achieved our financial goals. We have achieved the passive income that we want, that we could quit working if we wanted to. But Freedom Capital Investments, I've made a commitment to, which dragged you along.
I wasn't kicking or screaming.
And now that commitment does force us to work, right? So I don't feel like I've hit a Freedom Day or a retirement, whatever you want to call it, right now, because I've made this commitment that said, hey, I'm bringing on these team members, and I have committed to them that I'm going to take them along this ride to train them and get them ready and build the foundation for us to be able to build out this last company. And it's not really going to be our last, but the last one where we kind of force ourselves to work. And so Freedom Day to me is, in 2022, our words of the year was the anchor leg, which was that baton, that last baton, right?
Yep.
And it was faith, focus, freedom. And we did that because this was our last year.
That's right.
And so for me, I feel like Freedom Day is achieving this goal that we set here in 2022. And achieving the goal of building the foundation of Freedom Capital Investments, training our team that they can do this on their own. It doesn't mean that we're not here to help or that we're not participating in efforts of this particular company, but we're doing so on our own time. There's never a point in time where we're in Australia or Italy or New Zealand or wherever we're at where we are being forced to work. There will be somebody else doing it. So that's freedom to me. I'm not forced to do it. I'm participating because I want to and when I want to. But I'm not obligated like I feel like we are right now for at least the rest of the year to build this particular
and
thing.
If you want to move my Freedom Day up, a few months, you can go right ahead. if you want to just get through the end of the year and then stop, I'm fine with that. Just letting you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Just letting you know.
Thanks, Flip.
Yeah. In my definition, honestly, it was. If you would have asked me 10 years ago, it would have been completely different. Than it is now. And we've already gotten to a majority of my definition. I don't want to work every day of the week, long hours until 9 or 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
Check. That's done. I don't want to work every weekend. Check. That's done.
Yeah.
We're actually starting to work like Monday through Friday.
I know.
And we're actually, going in and going places and trying to relax a little bit. Even this last year where we were just in Cancun.
Yeah.
And when we left, it wasn't a do not disturb vacation that we did last year. It was still, we knew we were going to be working, but we still had a blast. It was one of our best vacations ever.
Yes.
It was because of that. We're building on that. On that freedom.
Yes. And that's why we talked about it changes all the time and it gets better all the time. And so really we wanted to share it because Amy asked, and I was like, hey, this could be a good episode because, it took us a long time to figure out what we wanted. And then after we defined it, then, as soon as we got close, it changed anyway based on how old we were and new goals and new aspirations and things like that. So just thought it would be a good discussion. So thank you, Amy, for asking. And so for those of you who haven't figured out what Freedom Day means for you, because I don't think we all need to use the word retirement.
Right.
I just think it's the common word that everybody knows what it means when you say I'm retired. But as you said, a lot of the people that we talk about are like, I went into retirement and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So
and
Freedom
they went
Day.
into something else.
Yeah, Freedom Day could mean something totally different. So ultimately, you define it for yourself, right? And figure out what Freedom Day ultimately means for you, and allow it to change as you grow older because it will. And then set benchmarks because the benchmarks is what allows you to see if you're actually on track. Or not. And it allows you to revisit the discustion if you're ready to change the goal. So
that's right.
Anyways, we like Freedom Days.
Yes. Plus, I can't wait to see how much trouble I can get into. But we do like to try to make these as short as sweet as possible. This was a great new episode, so thank you, Amy, for giving us this idea.
Yeah.
Make sure you head over to our website, freedomcapitalinvestments.com, and make sure you sign up for our Investor Club.
Yes, Investor Club is where you're going to see our deals, just hear new things about us, especially private offerings. We can't share everything publicly, so the only way for you to see some of the stuff that we're doing is by joining our Investor Club.
It's a secret group.
Yep.
But also we've got our groups all over social media. Make sure you give us great reviews and comments and suggestions. Thank you again, Amy.
Yeah.
But again, we'd like to end all of our episodes with
Invest smart.
Live happy. Bye everybody.
Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on this show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss, y'all.